I've been using GoPro cameras for over 10 years, from diving to skiing to travel, and when I saw the new Mission cameras, I kept wondering, is this an upgrade from the Hero 13 or did GoPro just build a completely different camera? So before spending $700, let's actually see how the GoPro Mission 1 compares to the Hero 13 and if it's worth upgrading. That's what I want to break down today. The first thing worth knowing is that GoPro didn't release just one camera, they released three. And most of the reviews out there are focused on only one of them. There's the Mission 1, the Mission 1 Pro, and the Mission 1 Pro ILS. The ILS has interchangeable Micro Four Thirds lenses and is really aimed at filmmakers. It's also not fully waterproof, so it's a completely different conversation. I'll leave that one aside for now. The choice most of us are actually looking at is Mission 1 versus Mission 1 Pro. Both have the same 1-inch 50 megapixel sensor and the new GP3 processor. The difference comes down to frame rates. The base Mission 1 caps at 4K, 120 frames per second and 8K, 30 frames per second. The Pro unlocks 4K at 240 frames per second and the 1080p 960 frames per second super burst slow motion. The base Mission 1 is $499 for GoPro subscribers, while the Pro is $599 with a subscription and $699 without. And then the thing I wasn't expecting, GoPro didn't release a Hero 14, instead they launched the Mission series and right now there's no sign a Hero 14 is coming. Nobody knows for sure, but if you've been waiting for it, I wouldn't count on it. GoPro is calling this a compact cinema camera, and once I started going through the footage, that started to make sense to me. The thing that surprised me most is that in daylight, the Hero 13 actually looks punchier and sharper straight out of camera than the Mission 1 Pro. Not because the Mission is worse, but because the 1-inch sensor is built to capture a flatter, more cinematic image. It's designed for people who are going to color grade in post. The Hero 13 has always been tuned to look great immediately, because it was built for action, especially in daylight. I've had a GoPro on my helmet while skiing, diving, or while traveling. The Hero 13 has been exactly the right tool for all of that. With a traditional GoPro, the whole point is that you can use it in situations where things happen fast. You don't always have time to think about settings unless you got my GoPro settings cheat sheet, download it from the description below. Now I'm wondering if these new Mission cameras are actually going to change that experience for the better. Now, there is a specific thing I loved the most from the new Mission cameras. Before I get into it, if you're finding this useful, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. It really helps. Thank you. The biggest one is low light. GoPro cameras have always had a ceiling once the light drops. I've hit that ceiling even just on an evening walk by the seafront. The Hero cameras don't look good in low light. That's been the #1 issue with these cameras, aside from overheating. The Mission 1 fixes this because the 1-inch sensor is physically larger and pulls in more light. There's a dedicated low light video mode on top of that, and the footage people are getting at night looks like a completely different camera. It also goes to 20 meters, or 65 feet waterproof without a housing versus the Hero 13's 10. So for diving specifically, there are two reasons this camera interests me. The slow motion is the other thing that got me. 1080p at 960 frames per second. And this isn't the blurry, barely usable burst mode from older GoPros. People who've tested it say it holds up well in good light. I mean, look at this footage. At 960 frames per second, it's basically time frozen. Well done, GoPro. The next thing is battery life, which has been a real pain point with GoPros for years. The new Enduro 2 charges to 80% in 20 minutes, which completely changes the math on a ski day or a surf trip. And something most people are missing, the Enduro 2 is cross-compatible with the Hero 13. Even if you don't upgrade the camera, just buying the battery is a meaningful improvement to what you already have. The Mission 1 has got 4 mics instead of 3 32-bit float, so you can't clip it no matter what. And for the first time on a GoPro, you can plug a microphone directly into USB-C without any adapter and without losing the waterproofing. Creators have been asking for that for a long time. Then there's 8K open gate. You film in a wide 4x3 frame, and in post you pull out your landscape or your vertical without losing quality. With one shot, you get both formats covered, and overheating basically should be finally fixed. The GP3 processor can run at maxed out specs for a long time without shutting down because it doesn't get as hot as the old processor. The thing that surprised everyone, including me, is that the Hero 13 looks sharper in daylight straight out of camera. You put the two side by side and the Hero 13 is punchier, more contrasty, immediately ready to post. The Mission 1 image is technically better quality, but it's flatter because it's built for grading. If you're not color grading, the Hero 13 is going to look better to most people most of the time. Firmware could close that gap, but right now the difference is real. The close focus distance is the other one that matters specifically for the way I shoot. The 1-inch sensor can't focus closer than about 20 to 24 inches, roughly arm's length. For vlogging that's manageable, you just hold it a bit further out, but when I'm skiing with a camera mounted close to my face, or when I want a tight shot of a piece of gear on a trip, that's a real constraint. The Hero 13 doesn't have that problem, and it already has a macro lens add-on for close-up work. The Mission 1 Pro has nothing like that yet. GoPro is working with Polar Pro on a close-up lens, but is not out. Beyond that, the Hero 13 has a full lens ecosystem built out over years. The Mission 1 has ND filters right now. That will grow, but if you're already invested in Hero 13 accessories, you're essentially starting over. And price. The Hero 13 is around $430 and usually cheaper on sale. Even with a GoPro subscription, the Mission 1 Pro is $599. Quite a difference there. If you have a Hero 13 and use it mainly for action like skiing, surfing, biking, mounting it to your gear, the case for upgrading to the Mission 1 Pro isn't obvious right now unless you need to film in low light. The Hero 13 is still sharp in daylight and does exactly what an action camera needs to do. What might actually be worth your money right now is just the Enduro 2 battery. But if you shoot a lot in low light, the Mission 1 or the 1 Pro changes what's possible. That sensor is a genuine upgrade. If you're a creator who color grades and wants cinematic output without carrying a mirrorless camera everywhere, I'd honestly consider this. And if you're somewhere in between, which I think most Hero 13 owners are, give the base Mission 1 a serious look before you default to the Pro. It's got the same 1-inch sensor and same processor. You only miss the extreme slow motion. For most people, that's completely worth the $200 difference. You can check them out via the links in the description. So if you ask me what I do, I'm ordering both the Mission 1 and the Mission 1 Pro, but just so I can test them properly and report back to you guys here. So subscribe to the channel to stay updated and let me know if you'd upgrade to the new Mission cameras. I'll see you in the next video.